Good morning, everybody. It's Kevin DeWalt from Prolego. The most common question Prolego gets is, what GPT-4 use cases should I consider? And it's a great question because everybody is essentially looking for the same thing. You need a quick win. Data and analytics leaders at companies need to identify an initial set of use cases that are going to demonstrate the feasibility of the technology, that are going to show the art of the possible and help bring business customers along, and just generally get some organizational momentum and show that you know how to execute. So you're looking for that quick win that you can demonstrate to the organization that the technology works and it can solve business problems. So while I can't tell you exactly how to answer that question for your particular company, I can give you some guidelines for how others have answered that question. So here they are, 4 steps to identifying your quick win. First, this may not seem very inspiring, but I'm just telling you it works. Start by asking GPT-4. So go into ChatGPT and ask it a couple of questions. Explain your situation. I work in an insurance company. I work at a bank. I'm in a small manufacturer. And say, hey, I'm looking for use cases where I can use GPT-4 to help automate my business or solve problems, and it will come back with a bunch of suggestions. Now, I realize most of these are going to be very general, but that's a fantastic starting point because truthfully, we see that most companies in the same sectors have a lot of the same type of business challenges. For example, if you work in insurance, you know that the best opportunities for applying this technology is in underwritings and claims and in product distribution and support, right? We see this over and over again because most insurance companies have a pretty similar operations. Okay, so that's number 1. Start by asking ChatGPT. Number 2, consider your data constraints. Of course, everybody in analytics and AI talks about data. But to bring it a little bit more focus on where you should spend your time, try to find situations where there are no clear data privacy or security constraints that are going to prevent you getting access to the data or using it to train models. If you're going to be using GPT-4, you're going to be sending data to OpenAI's APIs, or if you are currently using Microsoft Azure, you're sending it to Microsoft. So there's going to be some data privacy and concerns within your organization. So pick a situation where you don't have those obstacles or you know that you can be easily overcome. Another issue is just general data access, and sometimes it's just difficult to actually get to the data because it can be distributed across a bunch of systems, or truthfully, sometimes you have an uncooperative data owner who doesn't want to share with other people, and so that's often not the best place to start for your initial use cases. Number 3, and this one is just so critical: find a motivated business partner. No matter how great of a job you do and how successful you are in finding your first use case, you need a business partner that wants to make it succeed. The reality is no matter how great you do your job, the first release or 2 of the technology into some sort of production environment isn't going to work that great. Additionally, anytime you introduce this kind of disruptive technology to an organization, it requires your business partners to change how they work and sometimes even to actually change specific jobs. And there's simply no way to do this unless the end business customer shares your vision and wants to take this journey with you. So absolutely find a motivated business partner. And finally, the one that's a little more subtle is try to find situations where you can generate your training data or train the models programmatically. And so this one requires a little bit more understanding of how the technology is built, but you don't want to go into a situation where you're going to have to ask your business customers to hand label documents or provide lots of feedback. And so this is why user-generated prompt engineering is often a bad place to start because it just requires so much feedback with your end users. 2 great places to start are ones where you can use programmatic table labeling techniques like weak supervision that we've talked about previously, or that you can use embeddings where you can index lots of documents, take the embeddings, store them in a vector database, and then use those as your prompts when you make API calls to OpenAI. So anyway, I hope these guidelines are helpful. Unfortunately, for a complex question like this, there is no one-size-fits-all easy answer. But the analytics and data leaders that have been successful in getting that quick win are the ones that put the initial time into investigating their options up front. I hope it helps. Have a great day.